One of the scariest stories in the Bible is the story of what happens to Job. Over the summer, the Lord had me read that, and I was like, God, why do you have me in the book of Job? Like, are you warning me about something? Like, this is kind of scary. It turns out he had a very important lesson that he wanted me to learn that changed the way that I think about things and the way that I look at things. If you don't know the story of Job, basically, Job was a righteous man. He had many sons and daughters. He was very wealthy. He owned land. Like, he was doing pretty well. And then all of a sudden, in the same day, he loses everything. His crops, his cattle, his children, like everything just dies. And then boils erupt all over his body, and he's in severe pain and suffering for quite a long time. So there are multiple scenes, multiple conversations between Job and his friends while he is like in the worst state of suffering of his life. He's lost his family, his kids have all died, his wife is just like constantly at him as well. And a pattern I recognized was that they kept saying that you must have done something. You must have done something, Job, to deserve what God is putting you through right now. And with my personality type, there's a J in my Myers-Briggs personality type, which means judgment. So like I look at things and I judge. So I'm always looking for a reason why something happens, like cause and effect. And so I'm looking at this and I'm identifying with his friends, like, well, you must have done something to have brought this all on. And the Lord spoke to me in that, and he showed me that sometimes there's not a reason. Sometimes there is not a cause to the effect. Sometimes it's not that somebody sinned. There was a man who was born blind, and the disciples asked Jesus, who sinned here? Was it his parents' sins that caused him to be blind, or was it his own sin, like in the womb? And Jesus said neither. He said it was so that the glory of God can be revealed. And the Lord spoke to me through that, and because we know with the story of Job, Job didn't do anything to deserve what God allowed him to go through. Through Job's story, God's glory was revealed, and not only did he restore everything back to him that he had lost at the end of the story, but God gave him double. So sometimes God will take us through something. He'll take us through a story even, and he'll show us the story through someone else's eyes so that it can speak to us. If you are somebody who often looks for a reason for something, I want to tell you this. Sometimes there's not a reason. Sometimes God will allow something to happen in someone's life so that he can be glorified, so that he could be made known. Whether it's the person who's going through it coming to know him through how he redeems the story of what the enemy stole. Because remember, it wasn't God that was putting him through hell, it was the enemy, but God was glorified at the end. And sometimes it's so that other people can see God's glory working through somebody's life.